today I'm going to talk about the current state of the market and what I'm doing with my current investments. So overall the market is doing fairly well, and what we're seeing now is all of the coins are now pooling up into the high rated meta players. So that means that the coins that people used to have in the 93 to let's say 95 overall players for players in their team have now been shifted over to 96, 97 as people are trying to upgrade their team rapidly, seeing as new players are coming out, and the 93 to 95 rated players are becoming outdated fairly quickly. So we're seeing tons of the Team of the Year cards, Team of the Year icons, even the new Centurions event, but also the Heroes players, as you can see here, and even the MLS players. All of these players that are good in game, that are high rated, are going up a ton in value. So hopefully you have most of your coins in those players. If you don't, I would work towards getting them into those players, but of course, if we do end up getting high rated exchanges in the future, that could shift the market, but we don't know what's going to happen at the current moment. So overall, the market's decent. There hasn't been any one type of player that's been crashing because they have not been releasing exchanges. We oftentimes find player crashes or price crashes happen for exchanges, not really for packs anymore. But that is all that I have for the market. I now want to go over quite a few different things when it comes to the investments I'm making and just investments we can make in general. So the first thing to look at is the Team of the Year icons. And the reason for that is because these guys were not packed much or packed at all during the division rival rewards, unlike the Team of the Year cards or other players in game, like maybe the UCL cards. These guys were not packed, and because of that, because they were not packed, and because they are oftentimes the best players in their position, they have been skyrocketing in value. So the other day we looked at Hullet. He was at about 300 million. Now he's up to 316. He'll probably go even further. I remember Carlos Alberto a couple days ago. I talked about seeing him at 90 like last week, and I didn't buy him at 90 million. He's up to 150 now. We have Van der Sar, who is, in my opinion, by far the best keeper in the game. He came down a little bit yesterday, but he's working his way back up to 260. And then the main three that I care about, of course, are the players that I personally have. Maldini's doing well, R9's doing well, and the card that I've invested in is Eusebio. He is currently up to 140 million, although it looks like my order just went through. I just sold one for 149 million. If you guys have been following me, you know that I bought him for 94 million last Tuesday, and he's all the way up to 150, which is crazy. So Team of the Year icons are still doing well. If we don't get a 96 to 97 overall exchange today, I think they're going to keep going up higher. The only reason why I sold off this Eusebio here for 149 was a bet against that. So just in case they out of nowhere release that exchange and Eusebio's in it, if that happens, he will likely go down in price. And so because of that, I wanted to sell him now at a high point just in case to lock in some profits. But if they don't release the exchange, I may be losing out on some coins here, but that's okay because I still have my other Eusebio that I invested in at that 94 million coin mark. And this is a strategy that I do suggest quite a few people using. Is if you get to a point with your investments that you think, or you're a little bit worried about whether something's going to happen in the game that might change the price, if you have multiple copies, maybe sell off one or two to get some of those coins, get some of those profits, and then hold on to the other ones and see what happens with those. If the thing comes out and it ruins the price, then you've made less coins, but it's okay. If it doesn't come out, then all you're doing is making more coins. You lost out on some profit, but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. You at least secured your initial investment or your initial money here. So I hope that all makes sense, but we picked up the Eusebio for 94 million. We sold him for 134, which means I made 40 million coins profit off of one card. I'll take that any day. Let's now move on to the next talking point, which is the road to the final players. Now, you guys know that I invested in a couple of kanjis the other day, and you can see here I also sold off one Akanji, and that's the same. I'm using the same thought process for this as I am with my Eusebio. I don't quite know how people are going to react or how people are going to invest in these cards. I thought he would be higher by now, but he's not. So because of that, I'm making sure to take profits on at least one of these cards. I bought two of them for 22 million and one for 26. So regardless of which card this was that I bought, I'm still making coins, whether it be a couple million or just 1 million. So there you go, taking profits. But these are still guys that I keep an eye out for, as they do have games coming up tomorrow and on Wednesday. So tomorrow we have Bayern and Arsenal, and then Real Madrid and Man City. And then on Wednesday we got PSG, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid and Dortmund. So great games. It's sort of hard to bet on which team would win, but I do think quite a few of these guys will be going up in value as we get closer to those games. Now, the other thing that I considered is potentially the reason why they haven't gone up that much in value so far is because people might only be waiting for the second leg, because the second leg decides whether the team's going to move on or not, and whether they move on is how we know if they're going to get a +1 upgrade. So maybe investing in the first leg of the 2 legs doesn't make sense. Maybe that's the case, I don't know. But I still believe guys like Akanji may go up a little bit more in value before his game tomorrow. And so I also sold off some of these players and got some of these coins because I'm thinking about investing in some players for the games on Wednesday, considering none of them have really gone up in value. So the ones that I was looking at was maybe Nuno Mendes, Depay, even João Felix, but a great example I think is Depay. If we look at his stats, 92, 92, 93 dribbling, 86 physical, very good. Bad weak foot, unfortunately, but when you look at his overall card, he's got 5-star skill moves, fairly decent, and considering he is only 16, 17 million, and when you compare him to other 93 to 94 rated strikers, considering if he does get the upgrade, that's the category he'll go into, 94. He does have some of the best stats out of all of them, so I think he might be a good investment. I might pick him up today or tomorrow and hold on to him until Wednesday, or maybe that will be a play for the second leg match with Atletico Madrid, who knows. But these are all cards to be looking out for, but of course, as always, I always believe in selling the card before the match, even maybe right before the match if you can, because I don't believe in betting on the team to win and holding them throughout the entire match, hoping that they win, because if they don't win, they're going to crash in price. That's too risky for me. But that is all for the UCL players. Let's now move on to the Centurions players. I want to quickly talk about these guys because we have seen a similar cycle with every single event that has multiple teams. And what that cycle is when the new team comes out on that weekly reset, the old team gets packed a lot less in packs. And people then who are trying to buy those players then have to start spending more coins as the supply is lower, but the demand is the same or the demand is higher. So what we tend to see is on Wednesday's reset, or I guess depending on where you are in the world, on Thursday's reset, the best players from Team 1 will go up in value, at least for the first couple days. They might cool off after that, but they do have a quick spike, and that would be a great opportunity to make some more coins. So there's really only 2 players that I'm looking at from the most recent team, and that is going to be Zambrotta and Sergio Ramos. Now, Zambrotta has been going up quite a bit recently. He was at 90, he's worked his way up to 100. I think he could get up to maybe 120. So there's a possibility of almost 10 million coins profit there. And then I do think Sergio Ramos could work his way up to maybe 180, maybe 200. That might be a stretch, but his card does look great. I might even buy his card for my team, to be honest, but he is another potential investment. Now, keep in mind, these 2 guys aren't the only 2 guys that I think are worth investing in out of the entire team. One, the only reason why I'm picking these guys is because if they don't go up in value, I could also just put them into my team. I think they would fit in my team, and I would enjoy using them in the game. But that is all for the Centurions players. I now have 2 more things I want to talk about quickly before we end off the video. First thing is that I bought up one of the Team of the Year players when they crashed yesterday. To be honest, I mainly went for Ruben Diaz because I didn't have as many coins. I would have loved to have got a Bellingham or maybe even an Mbappe. Mbappe dropped all the way down to about 150. I remember telling you guys yesterday that these guys are going to drop because of division rivals, and then they'll come back up. I don't think the come up is going to last very long, and I'll explain that here. I'll explain why here in a second, but he's already back up another 15 million coins or so. And in my case, when I bought Ruben Diaz, as we see here, I bought him for 73 million. I think he got down to like 70 million, so I might have bought a little too high, but he's already back up to 81.5. I think he's going to go back up to 85.90. At that price, I'll probably sell, take what, like 5 million coins profit, maybe 10. I don't know, my quick maths aren't really mathing, but this was a very easy play. And whenever you guys see opportunities like this in the market, I think it's a great time to take advantage of it because it's really just easy coins. We know these players are not worth the price they went down to, so buy when they are low, and then you could sell them when they come back up in the next day or 2. But I say all that with a huge warning in mind, and that is we're going to get the division rival packs refreshed this Thursday. So over here, go to exchanges, division rival. We're going to get another round of division rival packs on Thursday, which means there's going to be a ton of players hitting the market most likely because people are going to open them up with the division rival points. We saw a bit of a flood yesterday, but I do think a lot of people are holding on until the next round of rewards. So we have to keep that in mind. If a bunch of people packed Team of the Year players yesterday simply based on these packs, there's probably going to be quite a few players packed when the new packs come out, which means we might see on Thursday a bit of a crash in high rated players that can be packed from those packs, like the Team of the Year players. Assuming it's the same as it was yesterday, we might see Mbappe crash back down to 150, but instead, because there's even more supply, he might crash down to like 130, let's say, and it might take him longer to go from 130 back to 150 to 160. So keep that in mind. It's not guaranteed. We could get those new packs and they're horrible and nobody gets any players and the market just keeps going further and further, but it would be something that I keep an eye on, and it's why I'm going to sell my Ruben Diaz once he hits about 90 million and not worry or try to get any more coins out of him there. But with that all being said, that's all I want to talk about today. I hope you guys did enjoy and I hope it did help you out. If it did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Peace.